Hey, what's up everybody? Dr. Rossi, shrinksandsneakers.com. So I'm going to deviate a little bit from the previous videos that I've been doing. I've kind of been covering a lot of educational topics. In this one, I'm going to do a reaction to the recent Netflix series called Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. And it tells the story of this woman, Elisa Lam, who mysteriously disappears during a stay at the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles, California. So the video starts with her kind of getting on the elevator, already looking a little kind of disorganized. She's pressing all the buttons one by one. So right off the bat, that's a little strange. Generally, if you get on the elevator, you're going to press the button for the floor you're trying to go to, and you're not going to press them all in a row like that. So right off the bat, I'm thinking, okay, this is strange behavior. This is something that we, normally wouldn't see. And then the video gets a little more bizarre after that. Her behavior continues to become what appears to be, to me, more disorganized. So she starts to kind of like creep around the corner and peer out of the elevator doors because they're not shutting, obviously. She pressed all the buttons, who knows what she did, but the bottom line is doors aren't shutting. She creeps out and she looks both directions. As if, she's looking to see if somebody's out there. So already I'm starting to think, okay, this is bizarre behavior, disorganized behavior, and now she's peering out around the corners, looking a little bit scared, and something that we in psychiatry might call paranoid, right? Paranoid that somebody's following her or somebody might be out to get her. So in the series, naturally, this hotel has a history of bad things happening to people. It's very close to this place called Skid Row. So people are thinking oh, somebody was really following her. Well, that's one possibility. So as the video progresses, then you start to see her kind of getting into the corner of the elevator, and looks like she's now hiding from somebody or something. It's unclear what that is at this point. And then she again peers back out and actually exits the elevator doors. So very, very strange, very odd behavior. And she's taking kind of weird random steps while she's moving out too, which is also, again, kind of odd behavior, almost as if it's in some type of specified pattern, like stepping on, stepping off, moving right, moving left. Again, very, very strange. So at this point, she's just kind of sitting out there. You really can't see her. She's kind of out of the line of the video camera's view. And overall, just really bizarre behavior. So right away when I'm seeing this, I'm starting to think wow, that, looks like disorganized behavior, looks like she's paranoid, also appears like she might be responding to internal stimuli, right? She's kind of moving her hands in weird ways and kind of, it looks like she might be grasping or reaching out for something that we can't see on the camera at all. So maybe I'm starting to think, well, maybe there's some kind of psychotic process going on here, right? That's going to be one of the first things we're going to think about. Now, in the Netflix series, they did mention that she had a history of depression and she was on some type of antidepressant medication. So what would you be thinking if you're viewing this video and you're a psychiatrist and you're thinking about a differential? Well, you could come up with a number of different things, right? So we know she has a history of depression. So major depressive disorder with psychotic features. So people with depression can sometimes have psychotic features associated with that depression, and those would include things like delusions. So these could be paranoid delusions, where you feel like someone's following you, somebody's out to get you. They could be persecutory delusions, where you feel like somebody is against you, or somebody's doing things to prevent you from achieving your goals. It could be hallucinations that she's experiencing. So this would be sensory perceptions in the absence of external stimuli. So she's perceiving voices that appear to be coming from the outside, but there's no sensory modality causing it. So she wouldn't be able to understand. So she'd be hearing voices and or possibly seeing things that aren't really there, visual hallucinations. And to go along with that, things like disorganized behavior, disorganized speech can also occur. So we're kind of seeing all of that stuff here. So thinking about depression with psychotic features, bipolar disorder with psychotic features, schizoaffective disorder, as well as schizophrenia. Basically anything that involves a component of psychosis we could think about in our differential. The other thing to consider here that I was thinking about in observing this was it looked a little bit OCD to me, obsessive compulsive disorder. Sometimes those people's obsessions and compulsions specifically would be something like pressing the button so many times, right? So she might have to get on the elevator and press the button a number of times in order to relieve that anxiety and stress, or in order to deal with the obsessive thought. Also, the pattern in which she was walking. Sometimes people with obsessive compulsive disorder have to like walk in a certain pattern. They can only step with their right foot, or they can only, they have to avoid every crack in the road or something like that. Some kind of obsession surrounding that. Now that, of course, would be lower on my differential, but still somewhere in that differential. So we got a differential that's pretty broad, but involves some kind of psychiatric process and specifically some type of psychosis.